Hi, I'm Ben.
Hello, I'm Carlo.
And we're the production designers for Above the Clouds.
Above the Clouds.
Basically, we do look into the visual aspect of the film with regards to how a scene is set, how the actors will look like in their costumes, and how everything that is physical plays up to the story.
Production design for us is a major thing in terms of film because it supports the idea of our director and it facilitates the storytelling of the film.
One of the key aspects of production design is to create the world. So, for example, in the case of Lolo's house in Baguio, we found a location that we liked, and then we had to play up the look of the house so that we know that it's something that Lolo would have lived in for 20-30 years. So, you're now actually in the storage room. This is where the magic happens. Then I'm just showing you the props. So we have this set of old photos, even with the old envelopes in them from Kodak years back. Old cameras, contact sheets, and a lot of the photos are actually from my family. So if they go through the stuff, you probably find old photos of my grandfathers. That's where I put in my personal touches. So this is our living room, dining, and kitchen. As most houses in the Philippines don't have separations of spaces, it's all a transition thing within a room. So you have the kitchen here, which is also part of the dining, which is part of the living room. This is actually Nescafe glass bottles that they've been selling years ago. And typically they use this as glasses also in the province for drinking. So it's been reused, and somehow it's very typical Filipino to use. And now it's in our scene, and Lolo is drinking beer from those Nescafe bottles. And of course Lolo's personal effects. Old Baguio stuffed dolls that my titas kept from the 70s. If Lolo is around 70, 80 years old, then he probably had this when he was young. And we're actually putting a lot of liquor bottles for the drunkard Lolo. So he's that cluttered.
There are some locations also that we scouted, especially the ones that we saw in the Sagada area where we saw this large trees. So we basically build it from scratch. This is our abandoned village. Our people started yesterday afternoon setting this up, and this early morning we just add on a lot of details like aging all the prop and putting all this foliage here just to blend this up with the surroundings. Even putting on some cow shit and trash. This will be the set wherein the grandfather and the grandson will be here, seeing all this once good village here.
We were also playing with the colors in the design of the film. For example, in the costumes of Lolo, we dressed him up to always be in this warm shade of colors, reds, browns, neutrals, and then Ruru from the start of the film was always in the cool colors, and then because there has become some sort of clashing of personalities for both, and then towards the end of the film, then you see an osmosis of the characters. So now there is a blend of color. So that's how we push also in design what is happening in the psyche of these characters.
In Above the Clouds, there are a lot of props and objects that we need to produce and actually source or even make from scratch.
One of this is the rock. The
rock. Yeah. The most difficult prop for me would be, I guess, the rock, because it's very it's significant to the story. The rock is actually made from a very lightweight material, which is bamboo, just bamboo, with wire mesh around to just create the shape. And the outer layer is made out of jute sack soaked in plaster Paris. And from there, I sculpted it to look like the ones we've seen in our locations. It's actually a turning point, and if you could evaluate the story, this is the first time that the grandfather and the grandson did something together.
And then there are also some things that we have to set up in the forest, and not everything is actually found as is. For example, the berries, which is of course endemic in the area, but in the area where we were shooting, there were no berries. So we had to source out all these bushes. When we were in pre-production, a part of the script called for Andy to look for food in the forest, and we were discussing what kind of food he would find. So we had to take into consideration the location. So in Sagada, we were asking for things that we might find there interesting, and this is one of them. This is what they call the shower berry. I think it's called kulimbabang. Something that he could eat in the wild.
And when we shot this scene in the forest where Andy is wandering around, our director Pepe found these wild flowers. I think it's from a family of fire trees, so he wanted it to be included in the design. It actually helped a lot that the flowers are red against a sea of green forest. It actually helped in projecting a very mysterious kind of forest.
We are on our last day of shoot for Above the Clouds, and this is actually the heaviest day in our lineup. Because we've only been working with practically 2 actors the whole time, and then now we have extras of like counting to 500 or more. So this is definitely the heaviest. So the first setup that we were doing was the clearing scene where you see the dead bodies laid out on the ground. It's actually kind of heartbreaking just setting this up because the Philippines have been through Ondoy and Sendong years back, and then recently we are going through Yolanda, where like more than 5,000 people have died. And just looking at this setup, we can almost already feel what all these people have been going through in the Visayas. We will have real extras playing dead people, but then we have prosthetic dummies already set up, and then we're faking the rest with sacks of rice husks. And then later on,
yeah, we have this scene in the evacuation centers where people are pouring in just while the storm is happening. So here we are at the costume department, and we're organizing all the things that we need. We also have some costumes for our volunteers. As you can see, we have hard hats. Some of our barangay police for the community volunteers. Our fireman there, as you can see. They're so excited.
one of the best things that we were able to get from this project and from the whole experience was designing this whole film with just around 2 people. So that was a first for us. And however intimate they were, it was not as simple a shoot as it would be. It was a logistical nightmare actually, but we had fun.
We had fun, yeah. And we've been to places we've never been to, like, of course, Mount Pulag. And it's our first time to be in Sagada.
We love the company of the people that we are working with now. Some of them we've worked before, but then as a general whole, it was a really interesting mix, and we're just gonna miss all these people.
Yeah.
So,
Hi, my name is Carlo Mendoza, and I'm the cinematographer of Above the Clouds. Okay, so we're shooting the first ever dinner scene of The Grandfather and Andy. This is actually one of my favorite scenes to shoot. I've been waiting for this, and I want to expose it during Magic Hour because I think it's very important. It's the first meal of 2 people. I think is a very important moment in a relationship because you don't know where it's gonna go. Hi, my name is Carlo Mendoza, and I'm the cinematographer of Above the Clouds.